Okay, so you should see my screen now, right?
Yes.
Okay, and instead of going to this introduction about the community, about what I'm doing, I think as I can see we are a small group. So let's ask how many people here are new. So if anyone new here, let me know. So,
I'm new.
okay, so you are new.
Okay, here I'm
Yes.
here.
Okay, great. Okay, so let me go quickly about the introduction then.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Okay. First of all, give you a quick introduction about myself, as you maybe don't know me. So my name is Muhammad Radwan. I'm a Microsoft MVP, most valuable professional. I work as a principal cloud DevOps consultant in the UK, London-based. I have been working in software development for more than 17 years, helped more than 50 companies around the globe, some of them from the Fortune 500. I relocated several times for different countries, and for the 8 years, I focus on consultancy-based role. As a part of the community, I delivered many open source frameworks, extensions, automation framework on GitHub and Azure Marketplace. I also like to share my experience. This is why I have many YouTube videos and blog posts. And I have presented in many regional, local, and international conferences around the globe in many countries. So I got the chance and the opportunity to work in many countries. Actually, they are more than this, but I'm not updating that every. Okay, code of conduct. Let me see here. I can see there is. Um, can someone has? Hmm, okay, thank you. Thanks for people who replied here. Okay. So code of conduct. Very quickly, there is two important posts on the Facebook page: the code of conduct and the FAQ, or frequently asked questions. So I will here just go very quickly for them, but you should understand them. So the first one, that every session is recorded. So if you don't like to be recorded, I will kindly ask you to leave the meeting. Uh, Please respect everyone, no matter what is the religion, the age, the gender, and we don't speak about that. Please mic off all the time and open that when you speak, and turn it off immediately. Our point of communication is a Facebook page, and we are divided now into two groups. The first group is Group A, which is well structured with well structured agenda and so on, and the second group is Group B, which is more responsive and more agile about the topics that we are will be discussed during the session. High priority question. This is for Group B because Group B is like open discussion, so they can ask any questions. Again, one of the main goal for this live session is to support people, help people, that they watch my videos, they read my articles, and they still struggling about something. So I'm here to give them the supporting hours, like, okay, what is the problem about that? How? So this is a priority question. So, but again, I'm not expecting that we repeat the same question like how to become a DevOps expert. Do I need to learn programming to be a DevOps? All this kind of question. I want to answer them one time and even take some opinion from you, and then we move forward. So we will work also on open source project. This is for Group B. Uh, And we will have surveys either during the session or post session, and this is very important so we can, I can improve this community. For group B, because we are very open for all questions, so it's very good if you could prepare your question and send them up front before you join. So, we can take vote from people that will attend the meeting about the question that they want to answer first. The first, the chat during or the chat discussion during the meeting is not monitored or moderators. There is no moderator for that, and usually if I'm presenting, I will not be able to do both. Maybe I fail to do two things at the same time. And the fact is very important. Please I keep updated is it based on the question I received. Okay, this is the details of the code of conduct, and I'm not going to go through that. So again, please like, share, comment, subscribe, activate notification, and fill the survey. This is very important to keep growing for the community and also to help improvement. Okay, DevOps vision. As you maybe some of you already know that I got a new banner for the page about DevOps vision. And maybe even if you notice, there is also DevOps thoughts first, and then DevOps visions. Even before that, I have many ideas from very long time. Try to implement that in the community, but due the lack of having the contributors, I didn't continue. So my last domain was DevOps Vision. I found it's not expired yet, by the way. So I thought, okay, let's have this name. If you remember the first session, I just named it unnamed DevOps because I thought that DevOps Vision is expired as many other domains, but I found that I still have the domain. So okay, let's have DevOps Vision as a name for all the work that we are going to produce. So I have the domain DevOps Vision. Also, I have the organization on DevOps on GitHub. So DevOps Vision, which will include all the projects open source that we are going to work with. And also the Facebook is still using the old name, which is VSALM. By the way, VSALM, it's Visual Studio Application Lifecycle Management. Because this page I created maybe like 8 years or 10 years ago. And there is some rules for renaming the Facebook page, which I couldn't rename that to a new name, which is the DevOps Vision. So this is why I have now new page and new group, but we were not using them because again, for me, first when we start
Hello?
having, yeah, do you have,
Yes.
yeah?
How are you? How are you today? Fine, fine. How is it going with the release?
Yes, as I explained, it's very important to mute yourself. This is why I keep saying about the code of conduct. Okay, so DevOps vision. This is why people, guys, it's very important to keep the code of conduct and keep the mic off all the time because interruption that but anyway. So I have the groups and the new page for DevOps Vision, but I will not use them now. I just booked them to have the name, but this will be in the future. Again, it's based on the contributors because at the end, if I end up with no one, no one contribute, then there is no need to have them or continue on that. Um, so what we are doing again, what I'm doing that in these sessions, it's all about helping people. Again, I'm a community guy. I really like to help. People reach out to me asking for mentoring, asking for guidance. So I'm building this community so I can help them because instead of helping one person, I can help more people, and all of that for free. And again, I'm looking for more people to helping community champions. Again, how to transfer normal people to be a community champions. Um, so number and surveys. Again, we reached out more than 700 people registered for the events and the community and from more than 40 countries. And I'm trying to take this opportunity, not just for a session but again, to getting this importance of the community and the network. So why community? beside learning and all other things of the community, again, community is a platform. Just imagine that you just contribute to the platform or this community, and then by doing this contribution, you get recognized by people that they can trust what you are doing. They can trust, your skills and so on. And this is why part of the community also is a hiring manager, that they can see you and they can, like trust that they can hire you. So again, beside many benefits of the community, but it's a very place, it's a good place, to have that. Community has more opportunities for professional. Again, I'm trying to just use this people not just for sessions, but to get benefits from everyone connected together, like sharing knowledge, having COP or COE, and try to find job recommendation for people. Like many of you is, I'm sure they are like me. They were looking for people to join their company, and many of you also, I'm sure that they are looking for jobs. So if we are here at a place where we can share that, then people will are looking for people that looking for jobs. They can pick from people here. Again, it just again being like visible for each other. So keep connected. This is the place we are connected with the Facebook page. Please, again, the fact is very important. Being active participation, ask a question, being yourself on the meeting, and try to make, visible for that you are going to attend the meeting. Please fill the survey and open the discussion. Try to ask a question, and, share your idea or suggestion. So please try to do that. So we are divided in two groups, Group A and Group B. Group A, because again, based on the survey and the result, because I explained to you and I discussed with you that I am more than data-driven, decision. So, and again, I have many ideas, but if these ideas is not very welcome from many people, then I will not do them. This is why 90% of the survey was people would like more about well-structured sessions and have agenda and like well-defined scope. So this will be in Group A, where people like they just attending the session, and for me that's fine. There is a great to share experience. But Group B is the responsive, where we can work on the open source, have open discussion, mentoring, like all this kind of. Again, I'm trying to help people, because many people reach out to me asking about how can I be a DevOps engineer? How can I get that? How can I learn that? Again, so Group B will be more about this kind of people, and also giving the support for that. And also, I will re-evaluate these groups later and maybe redivide them based on the time zone, experience, interest. Again, everything. If some of you start understanding me, I'm more responsive than having structure plan. I'm against the planning, by the way. It's not like I don't like planning. I believe if people understand for me, planning is positively harmful. So again, I'm very responsive to understand that based on what will happen. So exam voucher and Azure subscription, there is some exam voucher, either discount or exam voucher for some quizzes or for people that will contribute. For Azure subscription, I didn't get yet, but I'm trying to contact with Microsoft to get more. And I will, I can't promise, but I'm working on that. Upcoming session alert. There is session in next Saturday. It will talk about pipeline as code using YAML with Azure Pipeline and how to deploy a web app to the cloud, Azure Cloud, with a SQL Server PaaS solution or platform as a service. There is also repeated session for people that they couldn't join the first session for some issues about the number of people attending, and this for Group A, of course. This session will be repeated on 30th of May, also Saturday at the same time. So this session will be repeated for the second time. Again, please share and participate. Okay, let's start our main. Any question?
Hi, Mohammed.
Hello?
Again. Hello, this is Waji from France.
Hello, Aji.
Uh, how can join in your organization in GitHub? You will we will send you an email, and after that you will add us, or how can we proceed?
Thank you. Actually, no. Let me tell you. While this opening, let me show you here the GitHub. So no, this is not. Let me go here. Okay, as you can see, this is the organization, which is the DevOps vision. Uh, so as you can see, it's only one person, which is me. So what you can do, and again, this is part of, even the plan that I will discuss with you in this, but as you ask this question, so let's answer now. So as you can see, this is the DevOps vision. So what you will going to do is, again, you can just first, I will say, this is the easy app, which is the project that we will start working on that. So what you will suggest that every one of you is just go for this repo. Sorry. Start click star and start to watch this repo, and then start making a fork of this repo on your on your account, and then start to contribute. So, and again, this is the goal. Not let me tell you how it is. I mean, this is the way to start to be part of the DevOps vision, is to like providing contribution, that promoting your what you are doing to be part of that. Again, it's based on the trust, like how to say that. So you will start take a fork, start doing some contribution, raise a pull request. If it's accepted, okay, that's fine. Then you will gain some credits. Once you gain more credits, then you will be trusted more. And then once you have really well trust, it means that I can add you to the organization, because I will not add people to the organization unless I can trust them that they can take my place for accepting the pull request. They understand the vision, they complete. So the people that will be in the organization, the people that they understand exactly what I'm doing, and they can take the visions. So continue on the vision. So do you understand what I mean?
Just if you can repeat just the last
Yes,
sentence.
yes, yes, we can understand.
Okay,
Good
to
point.
repeat the last part for people that they
Yes.
don't. What I'm saying that I will add people to the organization, not only the active people or the people that I accept their pull request to the org. No, the people that I can trust them. They understand the visions. They can lead the visions. So, for example, I understand that they can approve the pull request that is aligned with the vision, or they can reject the pull request. So, it is more about the visions people, visionaries people that can continue, because at the end is I'm looking for building a community where I am, again, for me is I'm just facilitating the community, not leading that or not managing that, but just again, like influencing the community in the direction that, so it's clear now, Ajay?
Yeah, it's clear. Thank you.
So this is why, again, it is not because you raise a pull request, because again, this is why I'm going to explain, many things. It's not because you raise a pull request, it's mean that you are a contributor, or it is not because your pull request is accepted, it means that you will be part of the organization. Uh, no, it's, you know, you will just be getting promoted or promotion based on your understanding of, of the visions, and not only understanding, but also the way that you can drive this vision into, the next stages all the time.
Okay, right.
Okay, so this is the PowerPoint. Okay, so I explained that before, and what we are doing. Okay, so I thought again, because many people of you, let me see how many people so far now. We are almost 25 people. Okay, great. So some of you, maybe they are not part of community. So I thought let's share with you the main idea of culture of community, or the community culture. So first is being honest and very transparent. Again, like, again, if you ask me, you will find a very direct. Sometimes maybe you will not understand me until you get my point, but it's very important to being very honest and transparent when you work with the community. Contributor vs the consumer. Again, a big difference between being a consumer and a contributor. The consumer, again, they just looking for the value. Okay, how can I get benefit from that? Like, again, even we all looking for benefit, even the contributor. But the consumer, again, they just take the value and run. He are they are not interested to, to provide the value for I'm sorry, to provide the value for others. So contributor is completely different. He's all the time looking for provide value for people, and by providing the value for others, they gain more. So, the channel is, if you can provide value for others, very big value for others, then you can gain. So it's completely different between consumer and contributors. Why I emphasize on that? Because again, people that coming from the consumer mindset, and they think like, okay, if I make a pull request, it's mean that this is a contribution. If I write that, this is a contribution. Again, the contributors is a completely different mindset, and you just need to understand that. Deep reading, people with contributor or contributors, the more deep reading, and they start understanding before, before they doing contribution. So they do their homework first. If you try to ask any question on a Stack Overflow, if this question already exists, people maybe talk to you very aggressive, like you didn't search before you ask the question, and the people will talk with some of the community contributors lead, or they maybe close your question with. So again, you have to respect the community, and respect the community by, again, doing your homework first, before asking for help. So because saving everyone time. And again, this is why I'm talking about the difference between the consumer people and the contributor. So consumer would like just to take the services without, participating for that for everyone. But the contributor is always looking for how to add value. This is why, so it's a completely first. So do your homework first before asking for more information. No repeated questions. Again, everyone can have a mistake, and you can repeat the question. The problem is not just, but again, the main idea is you try to do your homework first. You try to search for the question before you ask. And if you couldn't find that, you just, again, not asking the question, but maybe asking where you can find this question, if this is, exists. So as long as someone open a door for you, don't ask him for more. Just go through the door that is opened. So willing to help before seeking recognition. Again, this is very important for community. If you looking for, okay, I want to contribute, so my name, being that in this repo, or, like, again, if you just seeking, we all seeking for recognition, by the way. I am MVP, most valuable professional. I like the title. I like the benefits. That's great. But again, looking for the recognition before the value for help, it will never lead you to anything. Because again, you will focus on the recognition before the help. But again, the way to get the recognition is that you provide great help. So this is very important if you understand what I mean. Quality of contributions, again, you try to do your best, because just to think that your contribution is represent you. If we would like to understand who you are, we will look at your contribution. So if the contribution will defines you, then you should really care about that. So willing and looking for feedback, even it's too tough. Again, with if you are not a contributor before, the feedback may be very tough from community, because again, you are not familiar with the culture. And again, from my point of view, you need to be patient and willing to receive this feedback, so you can, it's just again understanding the culture and being a part of that culture. Okay, support my contribution. Again, this is I'm here for this session especially, so people will understand and can understand me, to support people that watch my videos, read my articles. I have many things I contributed, and again, people still have struggled with something or some information, and I'm here as a supporting hours for my previous work. Everything I did. Of course, I prefer, or it will be difficult for me to support all the contribution. For example, I have videos. My YouTube channel, I started my YouTube channel in 2009, which means 11 years. So my first video, it was in 2009. So if you're going to ask me a question about a very old video, I will never remember that. But what I'm trying to say at the end is, just imagine that the main goal of this session of Group B and open source is supporting hours for people, because I want to get an online or live session to support people, that they watch my contribution, and they will still have more question about that. So please, again, you are open to ask any question for that. Any question? How to become a DevOps engineer. I thought, okay, let's, when I start the first session I run for this community, it was talking about how to become a DevOps, engineer, how to, to get an expert, or becoming an expert, and how to change this career for the DevOps. So I thought, before moving forward, let's close this part. So does anyone here still in the idea of has doubt about, how to become a DevOps, how to change to this career, what I need to learn, how to do that? I should already answer that in the first session or the first webinar. But again, here I'm just again start taking some questions and close this part. So if people asking that in the future, I will just refer to the first session and the third session, which is today. So anyone has still doubt about that?
No, Muhammad, it's clear.
Thank you. Okay, great. It seems no.
There is a question in a chat.
Yes, okay. The chat is not monitored. So please, if you have a question in the chat, and this is part of the code of
Yeah, there
conduct.
is a question in the chat.
Okay, please read the code of conduct. The chat is not monitored during the session, and please, you are free to ask the question in, open the mic, please, and ask the question.
Oh, hi there, Mohammed. How are you?
Yes, I'm fine, thank you.
Mohammed, I'm still having an under difficulty to concentrate and focus on the things. How can I improve? May not be actually relevant for this session, but if you can give some advice on that, I would appreciate it.
No problem. Again, as I explained, also part of the code of conduct, you can ask any questions, you know, and based on the judgment call, I will. So you are talking about focus for what?
Yes, yes. So basically, I basically start doing something and I get 20 different ideas and I start moving around and I'm not able to focus and achieve a successful outcome for anything which I'm able to do. I mean, I have a lot of ideas and experience, but when I want to do something, how to remain focused and get that particular task or project finished? How do you do that and how do you basically focus on anything? Do you
Okay,
have any tools or any tips for that? If you can
okay.
share with us, please.
Yes. Let me first. I have 4 interviews with people from Microsoft Cloud team. Did you got the chance to look at these videos for in the interviews?
My apologies. No, Muhammad.
Okay.
I struggled for our last session. I'll have a look on that. It's on your YouTube list, right?
Yes, no problem. But what I'm saying that I asked them this question because I wanted also to have like different opinion about people like that. So one of the question is like people are struggling to focus, people are struggling to keep up with the technology, So what your advice? And with every one of them, they gave great tips for how that. Okay, but let me give you my quick, this is why I'm saying for me, I don't like to take the opinion or the knowledge from one direction or from one view. I like to all the time to get, the information from different perspective to, to have better idea. My idea again, you start dividing your time all your availability time for learning, on 2 parts. The one is something that continuously working with that. Like let's say if you can study or 4 hours, for example, 2 hours that you study on one topic and you have progress, like you keep progress for that and you don't change the scope and the other 2 hours you can jump from many things. But again, you have to work in a way that you can achieve a vertical knowledge and at the same time to keep up with what's happening around you. So the only way from my point of view is that you divide your time into two options, one vertical and one horizontal. Okay, if there is any other question?
Mohammed, actually, I just looked on your place. I couldn't actually find your interview which you took for the Microsoft guys. Is it possible for you to share the URL on the chat so I can actually go through your interview past this session if possible?
Yes, I will say again, go to the FAQ. You will find the FAQ is in the page, which include all the question like where can I find the videos?
Okay,
And
sure,
I'm trying to build the community, and the main idea of the community that the people can help each other. So if you go for the FAQ,
sure,
where can I find the video? You will find the link for the videos, and we are a developer, right? So the main idea is
sure,
having reusability. Like so, all the information is like a function, so we don't keep repeating the same information and again and again.
sure.
Okay,
Thanks for that.
no
Hi,
problem.
hi, Muhammad. It's Mustafa Manam.
Hello, Mustafa.
Hi, Muhammad. I'm seeking now to take the certificate of Azure Foundation and take exam AZ 900. I'm asking if you have any YouTube video before that will help. I am now study from Microsoft Docs, and it's good, but not perfect. I am asking if you have any video you talk about this before for this certificate. Thanks.
Thank you, Mustafa. Actually, I didn't create anything, and I'm working to provide something. It is in my pipeline, as but I don't have what I have. Again, I some of our team is created. If you know Quizlet, they create like a Quizlet review, like a cards, which including like you can use it as a revision before the exam. So I will share that as a part of the maybe at on the event today. So you can get that. But again, there is many videos on YouTube. This is why I'm trying to create something which can be like I can find it's useful, and I'm working on that on the pipeline. But unfortunately I don't have a something at the moment.
Okay, thanks. Waiting for you. Thank you, Mohammed.
No, you will wait very long, because, but I think you just move forward, and yes, the importance of this exam, or in general about the foundation. This is why I'm trying to create something, but because what I'm trying to do is, I'm trying to do something very special, so I'm not expecting to release that soon, So
Okay, Mohammed, thank you.
no problem, Mustafa. Any other question?
Yeah, Mohammed, I have just a suggestion for people who ask many question and repeat the same question. Why we don't create a mailing list for the community where people ask to email and get response from anybody?
Yes, it's a good idea. I mean, usually I will say, good ideas is very good, but the implementing ideas, this is the challenging part, the people that willing
Yeah,
to give the time, the effort to doing that. This is why all what I'm seeking is to try to find people contributors, so we can organize that. For example, now I have the DevOps vision, my plan, or not my plan because I'm against the plan, but my vision is maybe DevOps vision, it will end up with a very big website which including many open source projects, and many learning. And again, I do believe in open source. Everything will be on open source, and we will have a fact list with a many big question, with people supporting others. So, but right now, for example, who is going to reply to this mailing list? Who is going to add the people to this mailing list? Who is going to manage that?
yeah, we need the time, yes.
Yes, this is why, for me is the main idea is we can't have, like ideas without people willing to implement that ideas, putting the effort, understanding the vision, and participating.
I can take this section to, and if I can, I take the task if you want.
That will be great. If you would like to participate, this will be great. We can even, we can have even one-to-one discussion later, maybe aside, I mean, and then understand how you can see that and how you can participate in that. This will be great, like
Okay.
replying for people, this will definitely will help.
Mohammed, I have a question again, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Salam once again. My question is essentially around learning. Now, see what happens, a lot of resources available. One is video where you go on YouTube, so you go for a subscription. And another one is actually looking at some documentation and falling through that documentation. So these are the two primary ways I can see people can learn. Normally what happens is where you go on one of the YouTube videos and 50% or maybe 100% down the track, you realize, oh my gosh, that was something which I invested, but I couldn't really learn much because it was just a lot of time. So what is the best way to learn anything? Just go and follow the vendor documentation and then go on the forums and post the questions where you stuck, or any specific subscriptions or anything which you recommend?
Yes. Okay. It is the same, also the same. I mean, it's the same area of the question, which is answered in the interviews. So I would recommend seeing the interviews first. I mean, again,
Um,
to understand other opinions than my opinion, because again, at the end I will tell you my opinion. My opinion, again, is I really like the idea of learning from different sources, because I don't want to close myself on one source or one resource. So I usually learn the topic from many resource. But again, for me is it doesn't mean that many resource, like I just learn anything from any part, like from any. Again, I think we are in the age of that everything is available, all the information is available, but the quality of the information is the key. The, the quality is it's become like, the challenge to find the quality, to find, because everyone now, like producing videos, writing articles, it's not the MVPs only, what I'm saying that. So at the end is I will try to use, like logical thinking about, how to define the good quality, like based on who is the author, what is the contribution for that author, who is, the experience of that. And based on that, I start, like giving grades or identify the quality of this, and I start, using them. But for me is I do believe in learning from many sources.
Thanks, Mohammed.
No problem, it's my pleasure. Any other questions?
Yeah, I have one question. Actually,
Sure.
I'm looking for that latest videos because
Can you
I've
can
seen
you
there's
say
a
your
lot of
name? Where
videos.
are you based? Let's.
I'm from the Hyderabad, India. My name is Vinod Kumar.
Hello, Vinod.
Yeah, actually, the thing is, been through that a lot of sites and lot of videos. That's like a plural site and other videos, but those are not up to date. Means that whatever is saying that the videos there, some of the videos are some of the components are not in that other websites like that resource group and resource. Actually, I've seen that some of the like resource is given in that video, but I can't see that one resource. But internally it is using, but as a component it is not there. So where I can find the latest videos, because that site is keep on changing, and somewhere it beneath that all the information will be there, but how to arrive to that specific task, I'm a little bit confusion.
Yes. Okay.
Can you specifically?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very important to try again. Learn from recent information. Again, if you read a blog post, you can see at the date of the blog post. For training for a pro site, you will find the release date of the training. So I think it is not very difficult to find the release date of the information that you read. But again, this is a challenge in our life now, is that cloud-based solutions and agile DevOps, all of that. It means that all the solution is keep changing every day. Uh, you know, it's this is what we have. So if you are in the beginning, you have to start with something very recently, and um, just this is why for me what I'm working on for Azure Foundation, I'm trying again, while I'm working, I keep all the time is looking at what is the latest update. So I'm keep refreshing what I'm providing. It's not available yet, but what I'm doing is to do that, because again, the update is too fast to read something old. So, and let me give you an example. I developed an extension which is published on Azure DevOps Marketplace, and this extension was using the API. And after 1 week from what I published the extension, there is an issue of the extension, and I found that there is a new API, and the new API the didn't provide a backward compatibility to the old API, so my extension doesn't work. So, and it's just 1 week, So yes, you just want to keep eye and try to get the recent information as much as possible. Yes, but once you understand the concept, you will, but if you are still in the beginning, this is the challenge part. I hope this could help.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, so again, the main idea here is questions, or I'm trying here to help people like, okay, how can I transfer my career to DevOps? Do I need to, all these questions? So All this kind of question like, do I need to learn development to be a DevOps engineer? From my perspective, yes, you need to learn development. You don't need to be a developer, but you need to learn development. Do I need to, some kind of questions like people also asking me like, uh, do I have to get a certificate? Usually I will say certificate is not important, by the way. I all the time looking at certificate as a plus, but at the end is your skills. How can I trust you? Your skills and all of that. This is the most important, but certificate is not important. But the certificate it will only be important when I want to compare to, or when I want to make a decision between two people are the same skills or the same trust, and I will look for certificate in this case. But at the end, certificate is not important. Um, okay, so again, I hope that everyone understand now, how they can start their DevOps career and what it needs to get this. I mean, again, as what I see, and to just give a very quick conclusion, to be a DevOps engineer from me is you need to understand the complete life cycle and get more skills and experience working on each part of the cycle, like how to, let me open this slide for you. So this is the slide when I talk about the T-shape. So again, if the deep part of you as a DevOps engineer will be usually in the build and the release management. This is if you are a DevOps engineer. Sometimes also in the configuration and monitor. But again, again, it's based on the company, based on the strategy in your organization and so on. So this is the vertical part, which is build, release, configuration, and monitor. Sometimes monitor is not exist. Maybe this will be only for people in the operation. But again, this is the main area. But again, to be a DevOps, you need also to have knowledge and the skills for the planning, for the code, and the test, the package. So you need to build some skills of that. Again, you don't have to be a tester, but you need to understand, not just understand, but you can, like run the test, and this is exactly what I'm trying to do in the project on the open source. Okay. Okay, let's move forward. Any other questions?
Just last but quick one for me, Mohammed. Language from DevOps perspective, which you think people should invest time, Python or Go or any other language, which will be helpful for DevOps career or in general for cloud and automation?
For me, I do believe in all language, in all technology, in all platforms. You just need to be agnostic, just to be, again, very responsive. So
Okay.
just learn one language very good and be open for all languages. Just pick what you want,
Okay. Sounds good. Thanks, Mohammed.
no problem. Okay, so what I'm going as again, I showed you the DevOps vision on the GitHub, and this will be the main organization and not all the project, but I'm talking about an easy app. This is a new repo I just created, which include the project that we are going to work in. Again, the main idea of this project is learn by doing. So it's a way to, I got many people of you contact me. I didn't have a job or I don't have a job and I want to get certificate, and I recommended them stop taking certificates, just looking for how to get the real experience, how to get hands-on, and people asking how to get hands-on. Like again, you have a community, so just to contribute to the community, and then you will get your hands-on. So the main idea, again, I'm trying to do that based on what I receive from people and what I can. So the main idea of this project is to help you learn by doing. Learn what? Learn all the life cycle. Learn the planning. Learn the development, learn the unit testing, learn the testing as a tester, as a QA or quality assurance, learning as a configuration, learning as a deployment and build. So it is learning everything. Because again, it's very important to learn that. This is why I'm not going to create a very huge project. No, it will be very simple application, but it will teach you how, to practice other skills. So this is the main idea. So let me show you here the projects that we are going to work with. So this is the Easy app. As you can see, the Easy app. This is a new repo. It's empty repo. It just has the license. And as you can see, README, which is
We cannot see anything if you're sharing, Mohammed. It's just like there's no sharing available for us. Oh, yeah, now it's there. Thank you.
no problem. So this is the easy repo, which is, as you can see, it's just an easy repo. Sorry, an empty repo, just has a license and has a README file. I will upload the project that I will show you now later. And again, you are very open to start contributing immediately after I upload it. I will start talking about what it's mean by contribution, but again, but first let me give you an idea to the project before I upload it. So the project is a very, again, to understand the process, to understand the skills and practice on the skills. This is what I thought. Let's start by something very simple for everyone. And as you can see, I just create this page. Let me look at that. I feel. I just find the notification from Teams. Okay, thank you for sharing the. Okay, so let me run this application. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so as you can see, this is very simple. It's not HTML only. It will just an HTML and JavaScript code. So very, very simple. Hello world. So it's just, as you can see, hello, learn DevOps from DevOps Vision. So as you can see here, it just have two numbers here. So I can put here, let's say 3. The second number is 2. And I can say sum. This will sum the numbers, divide or subtract. I can also come here and change the text. Hello, DevOps open source with Q and A. So I can change this text here. I can also change the color. That's it. This is a very, very small application. Okay. So the technology used here is, as you can see, is an HTML for representing the content. And I use JavaScript. I have 2 files. The calc functions, which including the function like sum, divide, subtract. This is a JavaScript file. And I have another JavaScript which including the UI. So that's it. Any question?
No, all good. We can proceed.
Okay, great. So as you can see, and also I created some unit testing using Jasmine. So if we go, for example, for test here, I create one unit test using Jasmine. How many of you know Jasmine framework?
No, not me. I don't know.
Yeah, I know Jasmine framework.
Okay, great. So does anyone else know Jasmine framework?
Yes, I know that.
Okay. So yeah, so I use Jasmine framework, and for people that they don't know Jasmine, let me use I forgot to tell you about the during the session survey, because we can know how many exactly people know Jasmine, for example. So if you don't mind, please fill this survey. This is the during session survey. I sent the survey. So would you please open the survey and start filling the survey? Hello, can you hear me, everyone?
Yes, but
Yes.
Yes. I'm filling the survey now.
Yes, great. So let's open the survey and everyone, so we can.
We are filling the survey now.
Yes, great. So let's know more about. Let me add some question again. You can fill the survey many times as we want.
Mohammed, sorry.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah, this is Salam from Paris.
Hello, Salam.
Yeah. Can you share the URL for the survey?
Yes, it is in the discussion, Salam.
Okay. So.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I just.
No problem. So here, let me ask some new question about no. Here, let me add. So the new question here I want to ask about Jasmine. If you know Jasmine, I want to know how many people know Jasmine. Also, how many people know ES letting, ESL or ES letting. And I don't know any. Let me add another option. Maybe this should be here. How many people know static code analysis vs dynamic analysis? I know all of that. Okay, there is a new question. Also, please. So here, this is for the experience. So we have.
Can you share again with the latest question?
Sorry?
Can you share again with the latest question?
From the survey, you mean?
I think, yeah.
It's the
Because
survey.
I
just
already
refresh
submitted that one.
It's updated
Just
automatically.
refresh.
I'm sorry, I don't understand your question.
Yeah, I got it. I got the notification. Thank you.
Okay. So one person, no Jasmine. Yes, please. Can people already respond to the survey? Respond to the last question about do you know Jasmine or not? Do you know what is the difference between static analysis and dynamic analysis? Do you know the ES letting, and do you know the letting in general, letting practices? Also, if you don't know any of that, or you know all of that.
Mohammed, I'm only getting, I'm refreshing the page and getting only until question 6. Not about Jasmine. Jasmine.
But many people already respond to the same.
But I don't know. I'm not getting the.
Maybe press Control F5.
Well, I responded until question 6.
Okay, that's it.
I think that person who is not getting the options, please if you try to refresh the browser, perhaps that way you can get all the information.
Yes, it's only 6 questions, Salam.
Okay, good. I thought it was more than that.
No, 6 question, and the sixth question is asking about if you know Jasmine or not, ES letting and static code analysis, VS dynamic. Okay, so most of you.
Muhammad, that's Mustafa here. I worked before in a framework related to PHP. I know the concept of MVC framework, but till now I didn't work with Jasmine or the other one. You know.
Yeah.
Thanks.
No problem. Who is speaking? Mustafa?
Mustafa, yes.
Hello, Mustafa. Okay, Mustafa, no problem. Because at the end, again, my idea is you don't need a specific language or a specific framework. For me is, again, I'm very open and I would like everyone to be open for all frameworks, all technology, all platforms. But again, the main idea here is I'm trying to, the people will learn the practices, and once you understand the practice with one technology, one tool, or one platform, you will understand that with others, and it will just be an idea of how learning and you will learn even very fast if you understand the concept.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Muhammad.
No problem. But you will find Jasmine is very easy. I have many videos, by the way, explaining Jasmine, how to create a framework, and this was like 3 years ago, something like that. But again, the main idea is not Jasmine, but it's just using, the unit testing and framework. Okay. So now we can see that most of you they don't know they don't know anything, and only 2 people know Jasmine. There is no one know about ES letting. 2 of you know about static code analysis, VS dynamic code analysis. Okay, so before I start talking about Jasmine and ES letting, so first, let's talk about, let me cover the static analysis VS. As you can see, this is the ES, sorry, letting, linting, and I'm my bad. I should fix this to be ES lint. ES lint. My bad.
Muhammad?
Yeah?
if you can put many answer, because we can't put select and the question number 6, you can edit it to permit multiple answer, please.
Yes, because I put it here. Okay, you want me to?
Yeah, great. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Thanks for everyone respond. Okay, let me talk now about the ES letting. خلاص, and this is the main idea. First, ES letting. What ES letting? Can you see? Let me close this. So as you can see, if I open start now, open the JavaScript file. Let's open this file. So what is the ES letting are going to do? The ES letting is a static analysis tool for JavaScript. So this tool will just scanning the code and just give you like you can think it's error or recommendation or warnings, and even we can configure if we want that as an error or the main idea. This is a static analysis. So for people that you don't know what is a static analysis, that it means that it scans the code while the code in the file. You don't need to run the code. Okay. And again, there is many letting or static analysis tool for JavaScript. ESLint is not the only framework for that. There is many. But again, the main idea here, for example, now you can understand that it just asking here, for example, in this line, can you see here? And even, let me show you. Can you see there is a red? Also, there is a red under the, because this is like an error. And you can see that ESLinting expected 3 equal instead of 2 equal. Okay, and to fix this, for example, I just need to add another equal, and as you can see, as you will see, this will be removed because it's mean that now this, as you can see, it's removed. So now instead of 5 errors, I have 4 errors. So as you can see now, this linting or static analysis tool is happened during while I'm writing the code. But also we will learn how we can do this as a part of the build, because maybe just imagine that if you didn't fix that, but you check in your code or you commit your code in the source control. So how can I prevent you that by run the linting or the static analysis on the build automation? So I can make sure that you satisfy the quality of the code. And all of that, what I'm talking about is learning the practice, learning by doing. Okay. So this is for ESLint, for example. For the Jasmine, as I told you, it just has, I created here one unit test. So this is the unit test for Jasmine here. And to run this unit test, I will just say run selected test. Now let's try to run the test.
Mohammed, while we are waiting for the test,
Yeah.
Is it Visual Studio Code or Visual Studio, the full blue version?
It's a Visual Studio, the full version Enterprise, but Visual Studio Enterprise has a community edition for free. You can install it, you can work with everything. You can also work with Visual Studio Code if you want.
You mean Visual Studio Community, not Visual Studio Enterprise Community?
No, Visual Studio Community is
Yes.
the Enterprise, but it's a community edition.
So we have all features in this,
Yes,
like Enterprise?
yes, but you only use that for community work.
Okay, I was not aware of that.
And
Okay.
No,
So
it has all the
so
capabilities, but you only use that for community work. So if you're working for community project like this, you are illegal. You are legal and eligible for for working with Visual Studio Community Edition.
okay. I was not aware of that. I thought there's only Visual Studio community, but not enterprise version.
No, the enterprise has all the capability as a Visual Studio, the normal Visual Studio, except the part of connecting to the. I mean, again, just think of the community is the same as the strongest Visual Studio, but only for working. The purpose of the work is just for community work.
Okay. Thank
No
you.
problem. Do you have any question? Anyone has any question? So as you can see, this unit test now is paused, which is the Jasmine unit test. And of course I can, to just maybe fill this, or maybe not for now. This is for the unit test. And now we can understand the application, the small application, and we have one unit test with Jasmine. What else? Let me now go to the other project, which is the UI automation test. So here, this is the UI automation. So as you can see, I have here some automated test. For example, I will stop the Facebook broadcasting. I feel my PC is very slow. Okay, so the first task here is blank text should display. I don't remember, my PC is really. So blank text display error. So if we get back to the application, if you remember, so if I put, for example, blank text, let's say, for example, change text, and I put nothing, then click here. As you can see, there is a message say, oops, there is no value. Please enter the text you want to change. So what I will do here is I will make a UI automation test to make sure that if I put an empty text, it will verify that there is an error will happen, and the message will pop up to show that error. Okay, so this is the first method, which is blank text should display error. So to run this method, it first it will launch the small app. But first, to launch that, just to look at the configuration. As you can see, also this Selenium WebDriver, and it uses Chrome Firefox mobile emulator. And here, this is let's try to run the first one. So as you can see now, it's trying to run the first UI test. So this is an automated test, as you can see, because now it opens the browser, maximize the browser. And here it is. As you can see, it tried to access the local host, but I don't have the website here on the local host. So I either put the local host. So of course this test will fail because nothing happened. So let me search for here. So as you can see here, this is it tried to access the local host on the web server. So what I will just do is just to give here the IIS Express. Do you know what is the IIS Express? So as you can see here is the IIS Express, which is the built-in web server. So I will just change that. Come on. Okay, so now the test will run the URL from the IIS Express. And let's run the test again, which is this is unit test. No. So now the browser will run again. But in this case, it will access the browser from the internet. Now, as you can see, now can you see that? It just, the UI automation run, try to launch the text without anything, then the message appear. As you can see, the test paused because the message appear. But I can even change that. Let me show you, for example, if I display another message, or so let's, for example, say that if my application, let's say, for example, if my, it has another value, if I don't include exactly the same, so just to make sure that that changes is loaded in the IIS Express. Okay. Yes, so now if I decide to change the text, and as you can see, no, it is not here. Maybe because I need to, the JavaScript has been cached in the browser. Let me try. Let me control F5. Yes, it was because the JavaScript, the function, it was cached. Okay, now it's working that I changed the message. Let's now run the UI test. So as we can see, the test already passed before because it tried, and when it's run, it found that, by the way, here you can see that it's automated. So as you can see, now the message is different. So what will happen that the verification will fail and the UI test will fail. So again, this is just an overview about, you know, so this a very small web app, just JavaScript with a few lines of HTML and JavaScript with one unit test, Jasmine. So what I would like is, again, you know, adding more Jasmine unit testing, adding more UI testing, and start, you know, for me, I would like everyone would asking, oh, I need to be a DevOps engineer. Okay, let's learn this, how to do the code, because this will be your opportunity to learn how to develop a code. Again, for me, even if you understand how to develop this code, it's very important, because later I'm going to add more capabilities, like not from the code, but from the process. For example, now we're using ESLint. I will use other tools for static analysis. I will use. You will also learn, for example, how to use Jasmine, how to write unit testing. It's very important. So if you say, for example, no, but I don't want to learn development. But again, you need to learn development. You need to learn unit testing. You need to learn an UI automation testing. You need to learn how, because once you did that, we can automate that as a part of the build, as a part of the deployment, provision the environment, and all of that. So did you get the idea? Any question?
Yeah, Mohammed, one question here. That's code analysis. We written only one code, right? One test case. Right?
Sorry, the code
How
analysis.
this is going to
The
be?
code analysis is not related
Yeah,
to the test
code
case.
analysis. Okay. Code analysis not related to test case.
No.
Okay.
The code analysis
Okay.
there is a framework or a tool that scan your code for searching for problems or recommendation, or so it is not related at all to any test or test case.
Is it the same thing that is there in community edition, or that's analysis? There is a one code analysis tool is there in menu items analysis. There is a code analysis.
I'm sorry, I don't understand
it
your
is showing
question.
some percentage. Okay. Is it the same thing? The JavaScript code analysis different from other C# code analysis?
Again, this is exactly what I'm saying. It's the same concept. Static analysis means that you scan the code to find some issues, maybe vulnerability, security, maintainability issues, find some compatibility, you know. So it just, again, it's a science, which means that you scan the code to find some issues and recommendation. And this can be for any code. It could be for HTML, it could be for C#. For C#, for example, the framework, Microsoft has code analysis framework, which is Microsoft Code Analysis. There is also another framework which called Style Cub. There is also new, tools and platform like SonarQube. It has also for C# and .NET, and Sonar Cloud. So again, the main idea, you understand the practices, the concept, and once you understand that, you will search for this concept and practices and tool for which technology or which language. Here, because I'm thinking of a very small app, which including couple of or few lines of HTML and JavaScript, and so I just get the ESLint, you know, to use that for scanning the JavaScript, because ESLint for static code analysis for JavaScript. So any question?
No, thanks, Mohammed.
Okay, so before we close, to just give you the idea, this article very important if you to understand, you know, how to contribute to the community. So the contribution, it doesn't mean that you have to write code. Maybe the contribution, it could be by writing documentation. For example, to run the Jasmine unit testing from Visual Studio, you need to install extension which is working as a test adapter with the Visual Studio. The extension called Kutspa, something like that. Let me show you that. For example, if I go here for tools, let's say, if I go for manage extension, for example, can you see Kutspa? So can you see this extension? Kutspa is a visual a testing adapter for Visual Studio Testing Explorer, so the Jasmine unit test can appear in the Visual Studio. If you don't have this extension, you will not be able to run the Jasmine from the Visual Studio. But again, you can run that from the command line, by the way. I have video explaining how to use Jasmine and how to run the Jasmine from the command line. But again, if I would like to run the Jasmine from the Visual Studio, then I need to install this. So again, why I'm explaining you that, by the way, here is also you will find the installed other extension and so on. So why I'm telling you that? Because the contribution could be that maybe you can write what is the steps, people asking, okay, I can't run that, how to do that. So maybe your contribution is just by writing a post, you know, as an you know, as an MDF, explaining how to, you know, prepare the Visual Studio so you can work with the project. Maybe part of your contribution that you suggest, you know, some ideas. Maybe part of that you writing, you know, naming. So again, the contribution is thinking about how to provide value. But remember, all the time, you can't all the time have suggestions without people first. You know, there is people to implement the suggestion. Because, for example, of course, I will say I really appreciate everyone will put the time to give suggestion. But at the end, if we don't have many people or people that implement the suggestion, then this suggestion will be like an idea waiting for some other people to implement that. So if you can read this, you will understand again the beauty of the contribution, and you can participate in anything. Now you understand the project, and you know, and again, for me, is everything is responsive based on your contribution and what you are doing. I'm going to move next. If I couldn't find people, like, I will keep doing that, because I will use this application in my training and courses for explaining people about the practices. Because my idea is to work with this application as an end-to-end, including the requirement, the planning, the code, the unit testing, the development, the UI automation testing, the manual testing as well, you know, the provisioning environment, deploying, load testing, performance testing. So we will work with this small application to have all the practices across all the entire software development lifecycle. So this is the idea.
Mohammed, I have one query.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, in that Azure, while how we can write that YAML code to code analysis.
Okay, good question. You're asking about what is the code analysis for YAML?
Yeah, no, actually, I create like this application, we have created that one project. We are using that code analysis tool link. So I want it should be happen in the that Azure. CI/CD DevOps. So there we need to attach this as a process of the steps that building after building before building. This should be the code analysis should be happen, right? So how to add this link in code analysis? ML.
Okay, now I got it. So we are talking about how to include the code analysis as a part of the YAML.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so there is either YAML or the UI for build automation, it including tasks. Okay, so what usually is you will find a task for code analysis. Like for example, there is a task called Microsoft Code Analysis. Once you include this task, you can just give it the source of the directory or the folder or the repo that you want to scan, and then with all the configuration, because maybe for example you can configure the code analysis to be warning, to be error. Like for example, maybe you are very restrict. So if this happened, this will be an error, very small thing that you consider that's an error. Or maybe, so you have the ability to configure the code analysis in the way that you prefer. So at the end, there is a task in the pipeline, and then you will just put that, define where is the source of the destination that you want to scan, and provide where is the configuration and the settings for the scanning that you provide, and then during the build it will run. And even if it does not exist, there is no task, you can create this task. The main idea, again, this is why I'm telling you, if you stop thinking about how to put that in YAML, if you stop thinking about the technical and just understanding the process and the practices, you can do that in any language, in any platform, because you understand exactly how everything is working. So you are not just looking at YAML or at Azure Pipeline or Jenkins. No, because you understand the concept and you will just find the way to do that. This is why this project, I'm thinking again, once you have one project, you can implement that, because learn by doing is very important. So what again? What
What do you give the suggestion?
Sorry.
Yeah, what do you suggest for the learning purpose? Shall I go for this Teams or on that pipeline or CI/CD?
Yes, what I'm suggesting is exactly what I'm explaining to you. Contribute to the project.
Okay.
Many people contribute and start learning by doing. What you want to learn? Learn how to make a CI/CD and run the static analysis tool as a part of the CI/CD, right? Okay, let's do that. Let's do that in this project. If you can do that in this project, but with understanding the process and the principle more than just the tool, then you can do that with other project and with other tool as well. And again, this is why my main idea of this project is to help people to learn. But again, for me, I want you to learn everything. Again, it's not just run this, because if you're just looking for how to run the CI/CD with the static analysis, you will never get it. Yes, you maybe know how to do that in the pipeline, but you will never understand the process. If anything change, you will be stuck because you don't understand what's happening. But my idea here for people, you need to understand how to develop this small application, how to write the HTML, how to write the JavaScript, how to use the static. So you need to understand the end to end with your hands on, from the end to end in a small application. You will not be a JavaScript developer because you write a couple of lines of JavaScript. But this will enable you to understand how to write the code. Because, for example, let me give you an example. As you can see in my code, all my JavaScript is not minified. Do you know what is the minifies is?
No.
So can you see
Yes.
this
Yes.
JavaScript, for example? This is for writing, but it's not minified. Let me search for an online minifying. If I come from some, this is minify. So if I put here, this is the JavaScript, and here is the minified output. Sorry. If I say minify, unexpected, okay. Let me take CSS, not JavaScript, because but this is JavaScript, input JavaScript, CSS.
Muhammad, you lost you lost the last collab.
Sorry.
You lost the last bracelet
Oh, okay.
to close your JavaScript.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I was thinking it should minify without, because at the end is like I'm not asking for static code analysis, or I just want to. Okay, let me take all this JavaScript. Here, and let's hope minify. Yes, so can you see that it's minify now? What is the minify? To understand that if I just open the notepad and I copy the minify file. So what is the minify? It's just putting all the text together. So for example, let me explain. If I save this file, this is the JavaScript function, right? So here, GS with minify, and let's take the without the minify. This is the normal, right? So JavaScript with no minify. Now let's go here and see this file. This is two files, one minify and one not minify. Look at the size. As you can see, this is 1.7K, and this file is 2.9K. So it's almost the double size. So the minify is here that you start to transform the JavaScript, the CSS into one line. You remove the indent, you remove the space, you remove the carriage return or the enter, because again, if you are going, of course you can't write code here, and this is why this is not part of your development, but this is part of your package. So what I'm trying again for me is the most important. I don't want you to be a developer for JavaScript, but to understand the process of the minify, why you want to minify, and once you minify that in your machine, how to minify during the build. So the minify is the transforming from one form to another form, because during the development you need the original JavaScript, because this is the code that you want to develop, right? But on the server, do you need this code to be in this way? No. It just, if one line with the minify and it work, this will be better. Why? Because when it's small size, it means that it will transfer over the internet for the browser and the user much quicker, right? Because if it is double the size, it means that this will load faster, right? And this is why it's important that by understanding, again, this is exactly what it is. So part of the build and is creating the package, minifying the files, minifying that, and part of the build and the automation and the creating the package, storing the package, deploying the application to the server, and so on. So again, what I'm trying to tell you is you need to understand the process and the practices, because once you understand that, you can implement them in any language, in any platform, in any tools. You will not be a developer, or you will not be, a project manager by you understand the planning, but you will understand what's happening. And by understand what's happening exactly, it will help you doing what you are doing. Anyone has any question? Okay, I think that's it. So again, thanks for everyone joining today. And before we close, I would like to take the survey of the end, so people can just, because again, based on the survey, I know how to continue, or even continue or not. So please find in the discussion is the survey for the post survey for the session today. And again, please let me know if you would like, like anything. Like again, the project will be on the GitHub. I will upload this. You can just download it. You can contribute. Again, I'm happy to teach everyone everything, starting from the requirement for this project, which is, by the way, exists here on. Just show you, I have the requirement here, but I can remove it as a text. This is the requirement for the very sample application. Just one requirement for the sum, another requirement for the divide, as you can see. Very small requirement, but we will go through the entire process from requirement, dev, build, test, deployment, configuration, release, and monitor as well, including everything in the entire DevOps process. Great. Okay. Thanks again, and I wish to see you in the next session.
Mohammed, can you share me?
Thank you, Mohammed.
No problem.
See you.
Thank you, Muhammad. Thank you. Ramadan Kareem.
Ramadan Kareem. Thank you.
Thank
No
you.
problem.
Thank you.
There is a question about sharing what? What you want?
Can you share me that the requirement? I think it is there in the portal, right? Can you share me that one in the Teams?
But to access the requirement on you need a license. It's a long story. So what I will do is taking this requirement, transfer them to a text. So I will transfer this requirement into text and put them as a part of the repo on the GitHub. Because if to put you on the Azure DevOps, you need a license, and we need to pay for that. I can add up to 5 users for free, but only 5 users. But to add everyone, I have no problem to add people, but it's just because more than 5 I need to pay for that.
Yeah.
I'm Mohammed. Can you add me into the repo?
No, this is exactly what I explained. I don't add you. You can fork. You can do a fork from the repo for yourself and start contribute. And the same as any repo, we start something. It could be a great place to start something very big. So what you just need is, as any open source, you are not added to the repo. This is why I'm teaching you how to be a community contributor, how to be, so No one add you to any repo. You just create a GitHub account and then just go to the repo and create a fork and start, doing whatever you do. Once you feel you have a value, just raise a pull request.
Okay.
Please share with that community link also, please.
Which community link you mean?
Yeah, the community where that requirement is coming, that where the questions are coming. That's very
Yes,
secret.
okay. I
I
will
need to
put
know
it,
that.
yes, because what is the mean of contribution, you mean?
Yeah.
Yes, and by the way, again, if you ask more question, I can tell you, like, because again, maybe you don't know what is the fork, maybe you don't know what's, but again, I'm here to help you to be a community members who can, because I'm not here to try to give you the fish, but how to hunt or how to,
Yeah.
how to fishing.
So one last
Yes.
question, Muhammad.
Yeah.
So what will be our plan till next session? Is there any what will we do exactly in the project? You know?
For me, again, I would like, again, people is start contributing, like, having fork, start doing, let me give you an example. They will start having suggestion, like they want to add more unit testing. Again, for me, there is no plan. It's just I'm trying to give you what I wanted to do. And again, all of that is for helping people to learn DevOps by doing. So what you can do for me now is, again, you start reading the application, start understanding how to write the code, start adding, you know, this is why what I'm expecting people for asking what I would like to add to the project. For example, adding more unit testing for Jasmine, adding more UI testing, start having better name convention for the unit testing, start having better name convention for the UI testing, uh, start moving the UI, the requirement from the Azure DevOps and transfer that into text and put that on the GitHub. So, I mean, again, I'm more looking for people is try to help me to this direction. So when people reach out and try to do that, again, we can move forward. Do you, does this answer your question or?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Hi, Mohammed. This is my first class.
Uh,
Sorry, I missed in the introduction part. How can I access the previous session videos?
Yeah, there is a FAQ, frequently asked question post, which will answer all your questions. You will find it.
No, I want to access previous session videos which you have conducted.
Yes. There is a FAQ.
That I want to
Yes,
access.
exactly. This is what I'm telling you. There is a FAQ which include this question and many other questions.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Again, for me, I can tell you, but I'm telling you how to find the question, not just give you the answer, but how to find the answer for the question. And here is exactly what I'm trying to give everyone, not to answer you, not to give you the direct, but how to get the how to teach you how to get the answer, because this is more important than just to get the answer.
Yep, got you.
Yeah. Okay. Great. I'm looking forward for the next time and looking forward for your feedback. Thanks for everyone.